Example, and he says, no, I can't give you any right now. So the guy who's responsible for sending us out couldn't even answer basic questions about home rule. And it's kind of interesting. It says additional taxes could be imposed without voter approval. Additional taxes are imposed all the time without voter approval, whether you're home rule or non-home rule. It says the village may incur debt resulting in higher property taxes to pay off the debt. We can already incur debt. Home rule units are exempt from the property tax cap law. It's the only accurate piece of information on this. And that's why we passed a resolution pledging to live within the property tax caps during the next 3 years. It says the village would have the power to prevent the sale of a home until the village, not the buyer or seller, is satisfied with the repairs or improvements made to home under the village's point of sale. That's patently false because case law has prohibited municipalities from keeping a transaction from closing even when a municipality has an objection. On the other side it says more regulation. Powers include increased zoning ability, as if that's something to be frightened about. Why would you want the state to be able to come in and change your zoning? Why would you want the state to be able to come in and put public housing in? Why would you want the state to be able to come in and determine what's best for your community? And it says an increased ability to raise taxes. So there's nothing on here that is accurate or that we haven't already responded to. We're going to open up to questions. What I'd like to do, first of all, is find out how many of you folks have not been here to this presentation on home rule before. How many people? Good. Phyllis, what are some of the questions or concerns that you have about seniors, about home rule?
I just wanted to know all the pros and all the cons, and I'm in favor of the village having more control over local issues that affect us, such as an example, all these here ladies of the night that are walking on Mannheim Road and all that, or some of the scuzzy motels on Mannheim Road. It takes ages and ages for the county to get involved. And a home rule would allow the village to take faster action to curb these unsightly things in our community. Would you have more jurisdiction to control?
Yes, we would. And I'm glad she mentioned the county, because those areas that are a problem on Mannheim Road are not in Franklin Park. The newspaper frequently reports that they are. So those areas on Mannheim Road where the drugs and prostitution are not in Franklin Park. The village of Franklin Park is filing a lawsuit against the Lido Hotel for abatement of a nuisance, and the township has agreed to
but sometimes
respond.
They do come onto the Franklin Park side and are walking.
If they do, they're picked up routinely. If you ask the police, they'll tell you that they will come right to the border of Franklin Park and stop and start walking back into Lyden Township. Anybody else who was not at a previous meeting? Dianne, Pam? I'm trying to call on residents.
Okay. I'm not against it, but I'm not for it, because I question why all of a sudden you and some of the others are fairly new. After all this time, it's kind of being shoved down so fast without giving the people time to research any cons. And I admit there aren't many, but the cons are serious. Are you familiar with a gentleman by the name of Banovich? Because you quoted, he's the one who did actually the survey on the numbers that you were quoting.
And what year is that from?
This is 206, where it's still good.
Okay. No, go ahead and ask your question.
The main ones it's mostly trust, okay? Because can you guys promise that once you get more power and more ability to raise fees and service fees, because there's a whole lot on here, in not him, the Constitution of the State of Illinois. On his major argument is...
go ahead and finish.
No limitations on use of property tax powers. Property tax caps do not apply. But the main thing that bothered me was potential for abuse of broad powers, which I looked up. And in section 6, that's the part why I'm asking. Can you guys guarantee, I mean, what you're getting now, if you pass this, you're talking about the cost that it's going to save, but if anybody was paying attention to your numbers, the cost, the numbers are juggled, and you said what we save won't be what we would have lost had we not had it in the first place. So if you go by your numbers, we save a little, but we're not charged that more that you were going to charge us in the first place. See, before you came in, we didn't have the garbage fee tax and to pick up, which is higher than the local communities surrounding, just by about $4, but yes, sir, it's higher. So.
Can we respond, Diane?
Yeah,
Okay.
but what I'm
Go ahead.
asking is how do we know that we can trust that you guys won't all go afterwards and all raise your salary?
Right. You've already asked that, and we'll respond.
Okay, a couple ways. The board has already passed a resolution saying they'll hold the property tax where it is for the next 3 years. The board is elected every 2 years. The mayor stands every 4 years. If the people do not think that the board or the mayor is holding true to their word, you go vote them out of office.
Not only that, but if those issues were a concern, it's very easy to repeal home rule. Why would 206... No, let me finish. You've had your opportunity. Why would 206 communities that got home rule and 202 still have them? If it was such an outrageous thing, why would 70% of Illinois residents... Well, let me finish. Why would that many residents put up with such a horrendous power if it was that dangerous and it causes that much problems?
Well, I don't know how many
That's what
people
democracy
here
is all
say
about.
on the news
But that's what
channel.
democracy is all about. What we do is you give your local government the powers and the tools necessary to bring development here, and then you have the opportunity to say, you know what, I think your time is over, and we're going to vote you out. So thank you very much.
There's only been 4...
I'm sorry?
4 repealed, you're right.
Yeah.
And
Lombard,
none in the last 20 years
Lombard.
because it's so difficult.
It's not
And
difficult.
It's not difficult at all.
It's a simple referendum. You put on the ballot, the majority
And
rule.
the last thing in the Illinois Constitution for home rule says, powers and functions of home rule units shall be construed liberally. And if you read above it, when you go to K and L, okay?
What powers are there? What's listed?
That you have the power to levy or impose additional taxes upon areas within their boundaries. That's
That's property tax.
Property tax.
You can go...
And we just told you, we've just answered all of those questions, Diane. Okay,
It
Diane,
says for special service.
have you seen the Rockford website?
The what?
The Rockford website.
I'm
Why don't
not
you-
sure. I read so many.
Okay,
I
why
actually-
don't you look at the Rockford website and schedule an appointment with me, and we'll spend an hour and a half with you.
I got one, Thursday.
Okay, fine. Very good.